Right now, we're going to talk about comparison and a beautiful quote that I personally love. Comparison is the thief of joy. Comparison is the thief of joy. I don't know if you've heard this quote before. It's a very nice and meaningful quote. Let's analyze this sentence and let's see how comparison can have a negative effect and how comparison can have a positive effect on you. Because I believe for any single situation there is a negative and there's a positive. So once we look at comparison, alright, what is comparison? It's looking at someone else and seeing how they are performing or what they are doing, what they have, what they don't have, whether it's in their personality or actually, what they own, what they've done, what they've achieved, compared to you, what you have achieved, what you have done. So usually the normal thing to do once you see someone who's achieved more than you, who's done more than you, is look at them and then compare them to you. So, and it usually happens in a negative way. What does that mean? I'm a racing driver, and if I want to compare myself to Lewis Hamilton in a negative way, alright? I look at Hamilton, man, he's a 7-time Formula 1 world champion, and I'm still in Formula 4? What am I doing, man? The guy raced in F1 for 20 plus years and he's developed skills, he's won championships, he made a name for himself. I'm still in F4. Man, I mean, what's the point? That is comparing in a negative way, alright? And it applies to you as well. Any kind of person that you see, whether it's in your school, whether outside of school, anyone who you see who is better than you at something, you might compare yourself to that person. And what happens then? Once you compare yourself to a person who's better than you at something, you devalue yourself. You look down on yourself. And what does that bring? Does it bring positive or does it bring negative emotions? It brings negative emotions, and it's not nice to feel negative. It's not a good feeling at all. So, if we want to feel positive, we need to feel positive. Why? Because we're here to adopt the growth mindset. That's the basis of everything. The growth mindset. And we're not going to grow if we're feeling negative. We're not going to grow if we're putting negative thoughts in our head. So, how should we look at comparing ourselves to others as a positive thing? Well, look to learn. I think once Shaq O'Neal said, if you're the smartest man in the room, there's a problem. Which is very true and very interesting. You see, the idea that he was giving is that you need to surround yourself with people who are actually better than you. Why? Because that's how you grow. That's how you benefit. If you surround yourself with people who are lower than you, how do you expect yourself to improve and to grow and to become better? You won't. If everyone around you is lower than you in their mental, physical, emotional, financial levels, are you gonna grow on these levels versus having people who are better than you? So, how do we compare ourselves to others in a positive manner? Well, we need to look to learn. So let's say I see Lewis Hamilton or Sebastian Vettel or Schumacher or anyone, any of the greats in racing. I see their achievements, I see what they've done. What's a positive way I can look at to see, to compare myself to them? It's very simple. I look at them, I see the process that they did in order to reach where they did today. So for example, when it comes to Lewis Hamilton, he trains a lot. He trains like crazy, physically and mentally. That's one thing I can learn. Another thing is his mindset towards racing. In the actual race, what does he think? What does he do? So many other things. And this applies to everyone. If in school you see someone who's better than you socially, for example, You learn. You see what that person does, how he approaches other people, what techniques does he use. You learn. You look to learn because you can always learn something from anyone. And that's the beautiful part, you know. You can learn from the good and from the bad. And right now, when we're comparing ourselves to others, we mean to learn from the good. We want to see what they are better at us in, and we want to see how we can learn from them and what steps we can take to reach where they are in whatever aspect it is. Well, the point here is that comparison, once you compare yourself in a negative way, it really is the thief of joy. If you go ahead and win something and you're, let's say, 10, 11, 12 years old, you win something great, and then you look at someone who's 16, 17 and you compare yourself to that person, what they've done, what they've achieved. It's not fair what you're doing to yourself. It's number one. And number two, you're not going to feel good. It's the thief of joy. However, in anything negative, there is always something positive. So, in this case, you can always look to learn. You can always look to learn. See what that person is doing, how he got there, and implement those steps in your life. And that's a beautiful way of looking at others. It's a very positive way, and it leads to respect as well. You respect someone more when you look at them, when you study them, how they got there. You respect them, and that's a beautiful relationship to have with anyone. Respect is huge. Versus once you compare yourself in a negative way, you're probably going to despise them and you're not going to look at them in a positive manner, because whenever you look at them, they're going to remind you of the negative thoughts you had and you compared yourself to that person. And again, that's not what we want. We want to adopt the growth mindset. The growth mindset, the best mindset out there. The growth mindset. And comparing ourselves to others, we can always grow in a positive way. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found some value in this video that can help you learn from others, and see, how you can implement whatever steps they implemented to reach where they are, and to build a respectful and good relationship with that person.